now?
Yes, we are. All right.
Oh, hey folks, sorry about that. We, long time no commentary. Mark and Mario here.
We are
with
back.
with our great classic show, Mark and Mario. It's a little bit like Rick and Morty.
Mark and Mario talk about magic.
So we've got Patrick Aguilar here on Grixis Death Shadow. Patrick's been switching to Shadow. He's a longtime Grixis control player. In fact, I think back in the day he played 4-color Cruel Control in Grixis. But now he's on the Shadow. Very limble, very lean deck.
Yeah, everything costs about 1. Average CMC probably 1.
Yeah, even your 6 and 7 drops, they cost about 1.
Yeah. And we have Robert on Jeskai control. Not something he's too fond of. Robert's more of a mid-range player as far as I know. But
well, now I will say that Robert's actually on Jeskai Geist, so he really is on a mid-range deck. He might have something dumb like a Sphinx's Rev or an Elspeth, but I think mainly he's on a Spell Queller or Lightning Helix Electrolyze plan.
Sure.
I know he's got 3 Geists.
Geist of St. Traffs.
Was that a Leyline of Sanctity in the main board? People have been doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good against Storm.
It's really good against Storm, really good against any black deck, really good against Burn. There's just a lot of matchups where it's kind of useless, obviously.
Yeah.
You put a Leyline in against a Merfolk deck, and they're like, all right, proceed to shit on you.
I mean, it's pretty good against almost every deck, I'd say, right? Like what? Merfolk is obviously one bad instance. Your Naya deck
it's really good.
It's
really good in Planeswalker decks where you can put it in the main board and protect your walkers from random stuff.
Sure.
Like in Sun and Moon decks, you can play 3 main board because it protects your Ajani Vengeance or your Nahiri.
Yeah.
From a lightning bolt, stuff like that. But I don't think there's any deck that should be playing at main board. Though over the weekend, I saw a Boggles list from Louisville, SCG Louisville, that played 3 Leylines in the main, 1 and more in the side, and I think that's terrible. But
I mean,
he got like 12th place or something.
Yeah, it makes more sense in Boggles. You can protect your guys from sacrifice effects, I guess, but.
Now, this might have been in the Classic, not in the actual main event. So
okay.
You can never take those results, too seriously.
All right, so looks like both players kept 7, and Patrick is on the play here. I go with Bloodstained Mire and pass the turn. I see Robert has at least 2 Lightning Helix, so he's definitely on more of a aggressive strategy than control.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty good deck to play against Grixis Shadow. You've got a lot of reach, probably 4 bolts, probably 2, 3, 4 helixes.
Sure.
And probably a couple Electrolyze, and then Snapcaster. So Patrick has to be careful managing his life total.
Yeah.
Also, I think Spirebluff Canal is a pretty good indicator that your opponent's not on a real control deck.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick probably thinks he's on Storm right now.
Yeah, Patrick probably thinks he's on Storm or Blue Moon. But yeah, usually I don't think a real Jeskai control deck, like a deck that's playing real control cards like 2, 3 Supreme Verdict Main and Detention Sphere and Sphinxes. Yeah. I think that deck doesn't want the fast lands.
So I think this is at Robert's end step here. Patrick's going to start by cycling his Street Wraith, and it looks like he drew into a Thought Scour. So he could go fetch out his Watery Grave if he wants.
I'm surprised you don't Street Wraith at the beginning of the game, right? Because wouldn't you want to have a Serum Visions? Try to get one of your Sorcery Speed 1-drops?
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe he's got a, if you're going to Thought Scour anyway or something, I guess that's fine.
Although he just drew into a Thought Scour off the Street Wraith, so he didn't have that. In fact, Patrick did have an Inquisition in hand, so he really just opted to pass the turn there on turn 1.
But with a Street Wraith in hand, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess what's the point of not cycling it immediately?
Oh, interesting. So he opted not to. So this must be during Patrick's second turn. He's gonna main phase Thought Scour. Oh, maybe he's going for the early Delve threat here. He could cast Tasker if he wanted, although he did just mill a Tasker. No, he's just gonna pass the turn. Patrick being very conservative.
But so he didn't have the Thought Scour turn 1?
Well, he drew into it with the Street Wraith, but I guess he opted just not to cast it then after doing that.
Huh. I wonder if we missed something subtle about. That seems weird, but maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Patrick's fetching.
And again, Patrick has opted not to. I think he has an Inquisition in hand that he hasn't opted cast yet.
Interesting.
Like I said, he's playing really conservative. He did draw into a Death Shadow, so he could cast that now if he wants. But of course, casting it as a 1/1 isn't the best.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to just sit on everything and sculpt his hand as best as possible before you fire anything off.
Yeah.
But some of those things, you know, I feel like you always want to play the Thought Scour on turn 1 when you can.
Sure. Maybe it was actually a stubborn denial, not a thought. No, it's hard to tell.
That could be.
But he does have Gurmag Angler here, and pretty sure that's going to be resolving. Oh. Patrick is going to just bolt him in response. All right.
I think Robert's going to try to go, you know, bolt, snap, helix, bolt, or
and
something.
And that may seem kind of... See, that's interesting. So maybe you do that to play around stubborn denial, but you don't have an extra mana to pay anyway. So regardless of...
well, but I think Robert just wants to use his mana efficiently as possible.
Sure, but bolting him there let him cast a more powerful Death Shadow. Or maybe
sure.
Patrick would have been weary of casting it as a 1/1, but...
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you think he's got the Death Shadow, yeah, then you want to make him suffer through the 1/1.
So now Patrick can swing for 9, probably more with that fetch land there.
Now Robert's got some insulation on his life with the Helix, so this could get interesting. But we know Patrick has the Stubborn Denial, which makes things very tough for Robert to actually.
Right.
You know,
he might actually have 2 Stubborn Denials if I mistakenly saw that card as a Thought
If he's
Scour.
got 2 Stubborn Denials, this game's probably over.
Right.
Robert doesn't have any way to commit creatures to the board to effectively block these things. You know, a Geist or a Snapcaster.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually
terrible here.
2 Stubborn Denials. I mistakenly took the art on Thought Scour there. So that makes a lot more sense now. things are lining up.
Yeah, I don't see how Robert wins at this point. You would need something like, well, you'd have to hope Patrick misplays and taps out or something.
Sure.
Or you'd have to be sitting on like 4 paths.
Right. And I mean, Robert almost certainly does not have Supreme Verdict main.
No, yeah, this is not that kind of deck. He's probably got 1 or 2 in the side. That's what a lot of these Jeskai Geist decks do, is they sideboard into control, or they can. But yeah, I doubt he's got a Supreme Verdict.
So Patrick does not opt to shock there, conserving his life total a little bit. If of course doesn't want to get burnt out. It would be an embarrassing way to lose from this position.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, 6 is probably a lot more dangerous than 8.
Right.
And making your Death Shadow from a 5/5 to a 7/7 doesn't really change your clock.
Yeah, unless you draw your own burn, but
yeah. Well, it's a 2-turn clock either way, except for that we know Robert has the Helix.
Right.
Also, I wanted to correct something I said earlier, folks. Lightning Helix in the plural is helices, not helixes. So make sure you tell your friends to correctly pluralize Lightning Helix the next time you're talking about
getting burnt to death.
Yeah. The next time your burn opponent screws you
with 3 helices in a row.
Yeah. Sometimes I play a bunch of Wild Nicottles on turn 1 and 2 against burn, like 3 Wild Nicottles, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be super easy. Like, I can race them if they just play lava. If they play 7 Lava Spikes and I have 3 Nicottles, I win because I can go off faster. But then they play 3 Helixes, 1 for each Nicottle, and I'm like, I can't win this game. That card is really good. And it's good here too, but...
Sure. So... Robert Flash and Snapcaster are hoping to get a block off. And he targeted Bolt, which he has not yet cast, but his Snapcaster gets pushed off a cliff, and Patrick gets in there for 10.
Yep. So one way Robert could win this game would be with a Simian Spirit Guide, Pyretic Ritual, play a Seething Song off the banned list, and then go...
and then he's just actually playing Storm?
Just Banefire him. Yeah,
okay.
He's actually plays a Grape Shot.
One way Robert could win the game is if he was on a completely different deck. If he goes Baral, Metamorphose.
Yeah, these Stubborn Denials are brutal for Patrick here, and he's made the wise decision.
Does
to
he have the second Stubborn Denial? Patrick has the second Helix.
Of course, the second Helix isn't even good here. It takes him to 2, brings Robert to 12, and he still dies.
Yeah, he dies to the Shadow.
Yeah, this one was destined to be in Patrick's favor. Stubborn Denial is a crucial card here, because I do think this matchup is generally good for the Jeskai Geist deck, just because you can interact with their stuff well. You've got the removal, you've got the Snapcasters in the paths, and you've got the easy face damage.
Right.
Also, Geist of St. Trask seems really good in this matchup. Even though it gets blocked, you can swing in for 4, and they really can't do much about that swing for 4.
So Robert does have another Snapcaster here, but that is going to be to terminate, and the Death Shadow squad is going to Get in there for lethal damage.
Death Shadow Squad, DSS, as they say.
Death Shadow and his favorite fish friend.
Zombie fish.
It's a classic pair. So, yeah, Patrick took that one pretty handily on the back of the stubborn denials there. If he didn't have those stubborn denials, Robert may have been able to burn him out.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. If those would have been some other card like if those were more dead removal, pushes or terminates.
Sure.
Yeah. So what do we think Robert can do here? I wonder if he's got a Runed Halo. Runed Halo is really good against these decks.
It's quite good against this deck. Also, Supreme Verdict, we said if he has any of those.
Probably at least one Supreme Verdict.
Supreme Verdict is an interesting consideration in this deck, because sometimes you're just 1-for-1, but that could be good enough. Like, if you can't deal with their Tasker or whatever, and you just need to kill it like that, that might be fine.
Hopefully he has some Blessed Alliance.
Sure.
Blessed Alliance, very versatile card
Condemn, he could have some Condemns.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I'd love to see, like, a nice diversified side. I'd like to see one Condemn, one Blessed Alliance, one Runed Halo, and one Supreme Verdict come in.
Yeah, well, not controllers, but when you're playing 3 colors, you got a lot of different options for what you can play. And I saw a discussion the other day about between some pro players about like how a sideboard that's just like 4-4-3 or something is like not actually tuned, and the more 1-drops you have, like the more well tuned your sideboard actually is.
It is true that's true for, I think, mid-range and control decks. Some linear aggro strategies really just want 4-4-4-3. Like, for example, Boggles, you can make a lot of sort of neat overlapping circles if you wanted to.
Right.
You
like so many graveyard hate things.
Right.
So
you could play one Rest in Peace and one Suppression Field and one Kasali Pride Mage and one Nature's Claim. Or you could play 4 Suppression Field, 4 Ley Lines.
Sure.
3 Nature's Claim. Whatever.
3 Path, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and that plan for a super one-sided all-in linear aggro gimmick. You just sort of target your bad matchups.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. I like the sideboards that are like 2 Stonies, 2 Rest in Peace, and then nothing but 1-ofs. So that's what I bet Robert's sideboard looks like. I bet he's got a Wear and Tear, a Izzet Static Caster.
So are we hoping that Robert does not bring in the Rest in Peace here?
So I think it's fine here. It's
really
it's
We've been so anti Rest in Peace.
So this is a good one for Rest in Peace. I don't think every deck should be bringing it in against Grixis. Every deck that has it maybe shouldn't necessarily bring it against Grixis.
I feel like you don't play Rest in Peace in the Snapcast or Jeskai deck.
Oh, he probably does.
Really? I think like Relic would just be better.
Nah.
No? Just no?
Nah. I mean, it's only Snapcaster, and Relic is gonna hate on your Snapcaster sometimes too. Anyway, I think we definitely see the Rest in Peace here. Probably 1, maybe 2, but. It's certainly good here. Obviously, it makes Patrick's Tassigers cost a lot of mana.
Sure. Hello, Masa Millennium, or MASA Millennium. Thanks for joining us in the chat there. So Robert will be on the play here, too.
Here's a good example. If I were a Boggles deck, and I had Rest in Peace, which you probably would, I wouldn't bother with the Rest in Peace here.
Just because it's too slow?
Yeah, you just want another card.
Sure.
I'd bring in the Ley Lines on the draw, but no Ley Lines on the play. On the play, with Boggles here, I don't think you'd bring in anything. I think you just want to go turn 1 Boggle, Ethereal Armor, Daybreak Coronet, Spirit Mantle, and just win.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And if you try to play a Rest in Peace, it's not gonna what do you care if they? Oh, I played a Rest in Peace on my turn 2.
Instead of enchanting my Boggle. Yeah.
Right, and I kept you off at turn 2 Tasker. Well, who gives a shit? Tasker's nothing to a Spirit Mantle Boggle.
Right, yeah. Or
I'd much rather play Spirit Mantle than Rest in Peace.
Yeah, so I, as a matter of fact, responding to the chat, I like the new playmat a lot. I think it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Really like the color scheme, and it looks really clean. So
what do folks say about it?
I don't know, but our stream runner was asking the chat about what they thought about it. If you guys like that, keep in mind that all donations, whether it's Twitch subscriptions or Patreon donations, do go towards improving the stream. So getting new things like this nice playmat here, better camera equipment, more coverage.
Also, T-shirts.
And T-shirts. Yes, we do now have T-shirts.
Yeah, there's pre-orders coming through now, but I think pre-order time's over. But soon we're gonna have T-shirts just available for sale with this same logo on it. I think there's a couple of variations.
Yeah, there's two different types you can get.
Yeah.
You can get one with this really nice logo, Or you can get a nice Bolt the Bird deck with a picture of a bird skeleton getting lightning bolted.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got some custom art on there from a local graphic designer. It's pretty cool. I actually was hoping after we do Bolt the Bird shirts that we would do Push the Druid shirts.
Yeah, maybe if the Bolt the Bird ones are ahead.
Because this is 2017 after all.
The Druids are more common than the birds.
So slow start to the game. We've got both players playing 2 lands and no spells yet.
Yeah, that's
no Serum Visions, no Thought Scours.
No Inquisitions.
Just four lands and 4 turns.
So I see Liliana the Veil there in Patrick's hand.
That's pretty good here. Liliana the Veil is a really hard counter to Geist of St. Trapp.
Right, yeah, it's very good against Geist.
Now, do you think we know that Patrick knows that Robert has Geist?
I think Patrick said something about him being on sort of a Jeskai mid-range deck, so he probably has the wherewithal to figure that out.
Yeah, nothing punishes a turn 3 Geist like a turn 3 Lily. It is just it's almost unwinnable at that point.
Sure. And then you just feel so bad that you don't even want to keep going.
Yeah.
It's a moral victory.
Right. Evil always conquers good.
Sure.
So
Robert did draw a Spellqueller there.
Blue and white are crappy colors compared to black.
Ooh, Robert has a P and Kieran Alar in his hand. It's an interesting
really good
addition
here
for this matchup.
Good blockers and good flying damage get over the top. And the shock is just nice reach. The cool thing about P and Kira's ability here is that the shock cannot be stubborn annihilated. So that's kind of dope.
Right, yeah, the ability from it. So Robert has the opportunity, yeah, so he is going to Spellqueller this targetless Snapcaster here, but it's a pretty good tempo play. And
I don't know about that Snapcaster.
You think you let it go?
No, I mean, no, but definitely good for Robert to quell it. Why was Patrick running it out there?
Running it out there? Yeah, I'm not sure. Seems pretty aggressive. Yeah. And he missed his 3rd land drop.
Maybe that's one reason to just put a 2-1 on the board, but geez.
Patrick falls to 14 there with the attack from Spellqueller. And here is the Geist. One of the fancy Geists. I think that's the promo one from the dual deck. Pretty nice, got alternate art.
So if we see Lily come down here, Robert will sack the Spellqueller, and Patrick will get his Geist back, or get his Snapcaster back.
So we could see Lily. I think Patrick has a Fatal Push as well, so now that he's triggered Revolt, he can Fatal Push the Spellqueller.
Oh, sure.
But he doesn't have another target for the Fatal Push.
Yeah, then when the Snapcaster the only thing, well, unless he has a 1-drop cantrip, because then he could Thought Scour,
or
and then
Serum
snap
Visions,
the Thought Scour, yeah. That would actually that would be sweet.
Right, plus Snapcaster now blocks
Geist, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a sweet play, wow. But I don't think he has the cantrip, does he?
I'm not sure. So he might be lining up something like this.
Now that would also work if he drew into a hand disruption spell, but
sure.
He drew the 3rd land, right, for turn?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's been keeping in his hand though. Oh, 3 Stubborn Denials.
Wow, those are really bad.
He is going with Lily. So this is interesting. Yeah, Patrick did play around this pretty well.
Yeah, so Robert is 100% going to sack the Spellqueller. I think it's a big mistake.
But then you can't attack with Geist.
I'm sorry?
Then you can't attack with Geist.
Oh, sure, but he's almost certainly got a removal spell. And if you attack with Geist here, yeah, it might die, but you kill the Snapcaster and you take the 4/4 Angel at Lily.
Well, and you also make the Snapcaster useless, basically. You've got to recast it again with no...
Right.
Nothing. And Robert does have the Lightning Helix, so he can take out Snapcaster, kill Ileana, and get in there for 4. This is a huge swing for Patrick.
Well,
Robert, I'm sorry.
There's a number of ways to do that. You could... you could just attack, see if he blocks Snapcaster, or blocks Geist with Snapcaster. He almost certainly will. But if he declares blocks, then you could just Helix it and send the Angel at the Lily.
So he's just going to have to kill Snapcaster, kill Lily, and get in there for 4.
So yeah, 2 at Lily, 4 at you.
Masa Millennium, this is not standard where Hour of Devastation would be most played. This is a modern format, which... has all the sets from way back to 10th edition many years ago.
But we are seeing some great Hour cards come in, like Life Goes On.
There are some Hour of Devastation cards in the modern format, but they're not super popular. So wow, with the second Liliana there, that just swung the game right back into Patrick's favor.
2 Lilianas, that's good. And with our new Legend rule, we could even see a 3rd Liliana come down. See a Liliana, the Last Hope, kill that Snapcaster. That'd actually be sweet right now.
Liliana the Light, yeah.
And then Robert.
Is that in effect yet? No, it's not in effect yet. Okay,
Oh,
I think
right?
it becomes in effect once Ixalan rotates in.
Oh,
so
that's too bad.
Next Friday.
Think if Patrick played a Lily here,
9th edition.
killed
I'm
the
sorry, not 10th
Snapcaster,
edition.
and then Robert untapped, played a land, and went Hour of Devastation. Just get wrecked.
If Robert's playing Hour of Devastation, I gotta give him some credit.
Or if Patrick did that, but also hit his land drop, and then Robert plays Hour of Devastation to kill both Lilies, and then Patrick stub dubs it with no ferocious.
Well, so Robert does have a path here, but we saw earlier that Patrick had 3 Stubborn Denial, so I'm sure he'll willingly use one to counter a path. Of course, Robert may have something to be able to counter the Stubborn Denial on his own end. But I feel like at this point he probably wants to get Lily off the table as fast as he can.
Yeah, shredding your hands rough here. Is that an Elspeth?
It is Elspeth Sun's champion.
Elspeth and P and Kira, it seems like Robert drew too many of the high-end things.
Sure.
I think he wanted some more versatile cards.
Now, P and Kieran does
right
do a good
now.
job of pressuring Liliana, though. We got our foil Pokemon cards as Thopters. They're basically the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Probably equally as valuable. No, I'm kidding. Maybe those cards are expensive. I have no idea.
So, is that a Growlithe?
No, it's a Lugia and a Ho-Oh.
Oh, you're right. Wow, yeah.
Yep, we got some fancy ones there.
Those are very fancy.
I think Patrick has a Collective Brutality, and that's actually super good. It kills P and Kieran and can take a card out of Robert's hand.
He'll probably take that path or that cryptic, right? Is that what Robert's
I think
sitting
Robert's on double path or double cryptic path and Elspeth.
Okay.
Whereas Patrick's on Street Wraith, Brutality, and I'm guessing those 3 Stubborn Denials that we saw.
Man, you got to be careful with that Street Wraith here. That takes you to 5.
Yeah.
I wonder. I feel like you wanted to take the Street Wraiths out in this matchup, right? I mean,
Yeah, maybe.
do you ever do that?
Well, you can use them to discard to Collective Brutality.
Sure. It's just like, I don't know.
So Duress can take any of these cards here, and PM Kieran does go down to the -2/-2 effect.
God, but these
Not
Thopters are going to be a real
why-
problem.
Oh, never mind. Okay. Yeah, the Thopters.
I think you just minus Lily here.
Really? Yeah, yeah. Well, Lily
mean-
dies.
Dude, he's going to die to these Thopters.
Yeah, that's true. Can't Stubborn Denial a Thopter. Now down goes Path. Maybe Patrick's trying to bait Robert into casting a Cryptic into his Stubborn Denials.
Yeah.
I mean, while the Stubborn Denials can be very good, Patrick might just not have enough time to use them.
Yeah, they really carried game 1 for him, but we're seeing sort of what they're not great for here.
Right. So Elspeth gets discarded to Liliana, and Patrick does get to use them as discard fodder. So all the cards that seemed bad have worked as discard fodder. And Robert drew a Snapcaster. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. This is one of those sort of greedy examples of Stubborn Denial being insanely good at 1 mana, but Jesus, you know, sometimes you'd just rather have a Logic Knot. Sometimes you just want a thing that counters everything.
Right, not
Stubborn
just
Denial's inability
not
to
just
deal with
non-creatures.
creatures, you know, it really adds for some awkward hands for Grixis Death Shadow, where you just draw the wrong half of your deck, and your opponent tramples you with creatures.
Yeah. So Patrick does have an Angler in hand, although he's
Can't.
well, like he only needs 1 more card in the graveyard to cast that.
Yeah, if he wants to tap out.
If he wants to tap
though.
out, right? Which obviously would be very bad since he knows that Robert
Yeah.
has 2 Cryptics.
Yeah.
Drew a Serum Visions, which isn't terrible.
If it were a Thought Scour, that would have been really good.
Right. Definitely fills graveyard and
Yeah.
cycle a card.
Hashtag Dark Ritual.
Yeah, that's true. And draw Ritual that draws you a card. What?
Doesn't get better than that.
No, it does not. Holy
Man, when I first saw Thought Scour, you know, like 4 or 5 years ago or whatever, I was like,
9
man,
years ago when Innistrad won.
this seems like a really mediocre Serum Visions. It seems like a really, I don't know, it seems like a bad Glimpse of the Unthinkable. It just seems like a lot of things. And in fact, it's a Dark Ritual that cantrips.
Yeah.
I know. I should have known. I should have known. Actually, the first place I saw Thought Scour show up in Modern was in Sultai Vengevine.
Wow. Yeah,
and I
that
was
makes
like,
sense.
okay, this seems fine. And then
So
Tasker came out.
Doing another discard with Lily here. We'll see if Robert goes for the Snapcaster on end step. Oh. What?
Did Robert drop that card?
Well, I guess that's the card that Patrick still knows about, I think. Yeah, that was why he showed it to him. 'Cause Patrick knew he had 2 Cryptics, so with 1 discarded, that leaves 1 for for Robert to have. So Patrick's hand, he has the fish and then 2 stubborn denials. He's thinking about attacking here. That seems really risky. Yeah, he's just going to pass the turn. All right.
Okay, so Patrick trying to bait out the cryptic command here by saying go to combat. He's bouncing Tasker.
Yeah, so that gets stubborn denied.
Okay. Stubbornly denied.
So now, ooh, this path here is really good because he can path Tasker, and then even if this one gets stubborn denied, he can then
snap path.
Snap path, right? Yeah. Although Robert may not be expecting the 3rd stubborn denial since Patrick's discarded 1 and then used 1 here to counter that cryptic.
I just still think. I mean, Robert's at 20. I still
or
think
the 3rd Liliana of the Veil.
I still think these tokens are going to win the game.
Yeah, they look to be getting there. Patrick hasn't drawn any removal. Yeah. Patrick is happy to take that damage. He hasn't been damaged the entire game. Or perhaps he gained some life with the Helix, but yeah, he did.
Man, I don't think you can attack with the Tasker there yet. You need to find some Death Shadows because now you just have 1 blocker for this Snapcaster, and when Robert, if Robert's got a removal spell, you're going to take 4 to the face.
Right.
I mean, Patrick's hand is Stubborn Denial Lily.
Yeah.
He's got no removal. I mean, Robert's going to path this.
So here's path. That'll get stubborn denied.
And then we'll snap path.
All right.
And then Robert's going to deal 4 damage to him.
Yeah.
Because Patrick attacked with Tasker. And then that'll put Patrick at 3. 1 more hit from these tokens puts him to 1.
So at that point, I think Robert was like, what are the chances he has the 4th stubborn denial? And he correctly put him on not having it. Was able to remove Gurmag Angler there with the 2nd path.
I just don't think you can
and
attack
now
with Tasker
if Robert
there.
draws an untapped land here, he just wins with the Colonnade as well. Or any sort of burn spell. Oh, right, I'm sorry. Colonnade would take 1 additional.
Oh, he's only short of Colonnade, yeah.
Well, he didn't have anything yet. This gives Patrick 1 more untapped step. Yeah, but he is not going to be able to kill the Thopters. P and Kieran, while the parents themselves were dealt with, their spawn got there.
Yeah, so game 1 we saw the real power of Stubborn Denial. Game 2 we saw it suck against
the rise and fall.
but
of Stubborn
we did not see
of 1 man and a gate.
We did not see Rise and Fall though.
No, we didn't see that card unfortunately.
Can you play Rise and Fall in Grixis Shadow? Probably not.
I don't know what that card is. So I couldn't tell you.
It's the Ravnica block, the original Ravnica block. Grixis.
Fuse card.
Fuse card, yeah.
Is it No, that's Breaking and Entering I'm thinking of.
No, yeah, it's got really weird text on it. Both the abilities are super weird. I believe the first one is, it's like there's one that's like the same mana cost as Terminate, and it's like a duress kind of, except for your opponent reveals their hand, and I think they have to discard a card at random, and if like if there's a land. If it's a land, they have to do another one or something.
Oh, here it is. So target player reveals 2 cards at random from his or her hand, and then discards each non-land card revealed that way.
Right.
That is a strange effect.
Yes.
And then on the other side, we have return target creature card from a graveyard and target creature on the battlefield to their owner's hand. So you do need both targets for that to be able to be cast.
Right. And so yeah.
Interesting.
So it's a good card. Sometimes you see it in Grixis control list. What's interesting about Rise is that for one, both cards are sorceries, which is bad.
Right.
What's interesting about Rise is, like you said, not only do you need 2 targets to cast it, but it's super easy for your opponent to fizzle both of those. I mean,
they can remove anything or exile your graveyard somehow.
And if they fizzle
any half, the whole thing.
I was thinking if
doesn't work.
I was thinking if they fizzle both halves of Rise, like with a spell and a Scavenging Ooze or something, that fizzles Fall, but Fall targets players.
So you can't actually cast both halves of this card because it doesn't have the fuse mechanic. Since it's from the original Ravnica, is that how that works?
No, I think you can. I think Fuse. I'm pretty sure it's errated to say Fuse.
Oh, perhaps.
Fuse I think came out in Dragon's Maze, and you can. But yeah, you can cast both these at the same time.
I don't
but
think
you're right though.
can.
I didn't realize it didn't say Fuse. But yeah, no, you can cast both.
I'm not sure about that.
Can we get a ruling here? Where's Scott? Resident Judge
It's
Scott.
split, not fuse. Yeah, it's different. So you can only cast either half.
Wow, can you really not Rise and Fall?
No.
I've literally never played this card or played against it. I just see it in lists online, and I'm like, as a one-of, and I'm like, oh, that looks fun. Wow, can you
Yeah,
really
somebody
have-
in the chat. Yeah, there are 2 different effects. It's a good description. It's like a hymn to Turek and then an unsummon and a raise dead all in one.
Okay, that's I like that.
Well, not all in one, all in 2. I guess it's kind of in one. Yeah, so Fuse I think was only specific to the split cards in the Ravnica or Return to Ravnica block.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're
the
right.
older Ravnica cards don't actually have that keyword and therefore cannot be fused together.
That's interesting because I remember
Has
there's definitely 100% Return to Ravnica marketing product, like like one of the magazine sleeves inside like deck boxes, that kind of stuff. One of those definitely says the fuse mechanic has returned. Now maybe what they meant was it's returned in Dragon's Maze from Return to Ravnica
Sure.
or Gate Crash. But I thought what they'd always meant was that the man, I've really never paid close enough attention to Rise and
yeah,
Fall.
now you can I don't know what other original Ravnica split cards there are, but you can't use them as well as you hoped.
Well, there's an Abzan one
Oh,
that's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good. I think the Abzan one, like,
Whatever. We
I can see it in my mind. I keep thinking it's Congregation at Dawn or Ready and Willing, but it's not. It's
probably never been played. That's what we can say
that's,
about it.
that's probably true. That's actually not true. The Abzan one I think is Fringe Modern playable, sort of like Rise.
You
and
think
Fall.
every card is Fringe Modern playable.
I think
so
you're Fringe Modern playable.
that's probably accurate. So Robert is going to mulligan to 6 here. I think Patrick kept his 7. And Patrick is on the play for game 3.
I'm sorry, Mario. I know you wanted me to stop. This is gonna kill me if I can't think what this Abzan split card is.
The Abzan split card.
I wonder what Google says when we just Google Abzan split card. They'll probably give us Ready and Willing.
Yeah.
So is this Robert's Molda
To
6?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's tough here, but it's not undoable.
I mean, Serum Visions basically undoes a mulligan, right? Scry 2.
I guess.
Although this will make Robert more susceptible to any discard that Patrick might have.
Oh, Crime and Punishment. That's right. Crime and Punishment is
The
kind of
Abzan
like
split
it's
card.
kind of like a Pernicious Deed meets an Obsidat's Aid.
I don't know what any of those cards are.
Okay, well it's kind of like a Gaze of Granite meets an Unburial Rites.
Okay, I got that.
Okay. It's actually pretty good. It's a good
Someone
card.
said they used it as a poor man's engineered explosive. That's fair. That makes sense if it's like Gaze of Granite.
Well, in some cases, punishment is better than engineered explosives. Also, Gaze of Granite is frequently better than engineered explosives, but nobody plays it.
Yeah. Well, Robert did decide to keep his 6, and Patrick has not had a turn 1 discard spell yet the entire series here. Yeah, there's Gaze of Granite. Maybe I should put that in my deck.
Well, yeah, what's key about Gaze of Granite, it says or less.
Yeah, definitely.
This is
it's
a
like
big
a
deal.
Pernicious Deed, the legacy enchantment. So this may be the first turn 1 play we see out of, well, I guess Robert had Serum Vision's turn 1, but out of Patrick's end, and on a deck that's known for all its 1-mana spells, it was
Yeah,
untimely
not a lot
not
of
to
turn
see
1
them.
plays.
Yeah,
Yeah, so has he even cast a hand disruption spell?
I don't. He cast Collective Brutality, but
Okay,
not one
but
of his original.
Have we seen an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize?
I don't think so.
That's crazy. How is that even possible?
I don't know. He did find a Thought Scour there, and then he milled 2 Serum Visions. How about that? So we could see Tassiger here. It will just immediately get Path on Robert's end, so.
Or
see
maybe
if-
we'll just see a Despise. How do we like Despise here? Take your P and Kira. No?
I would be awestruck to see a Despise here. Robert is baiting Patrick into the Tasker or Grimag Angler play here, just egging Patrick on to play one of these things, how bad it would be for him. But we know Robert has the Path to Exile. Well, here's Tasker. Ooh, but with that extra card he got in the graveyard, this does allow Patrick to leave up Stubborn Denial.
Sure. It also means that Patrick could go Simian Spirit Guide, Manamorphose, Shadow of Doubt to get rid of this fetch land.
it does mean that.
That's what I would do.
He didn't. All right, did Robert? Yeah, so Robert did not opt to shock this in, so he's not going for the path this turn. I wonder if Robert has any one-mana interaction like a Dispel or something.
Yeah, I think Dispel seems good.
Does that Logic Knot?
Yeah, Logic Knot seems to be a little more versatile. Sort of like Patrick's Stubborn Denials. Dispel will not do anything against the Death Shadows. So I think Logic Knot's
So here we got
a little better here.
Oh, yeah, we got the
Oh,
Dispel.
baby.
The draw step path.
Okay,
Patrick doesn't have the second blue. Nice.
Let me just say I'm conflicted though because Robert has 2 OG shocks, which I love, especially the Hallowed Fountain and the Steam Vents. But that new Dispel looks like trash. I don't care who you are.
Well, I like
If
it.
you like that new Dispel, you're trash.
I like that art. Oh, Robert, he couldn't find his old ones.
Oh, he couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't. The
Is
World
that-
Wake ones are beautiful.
Is that reason enough?
Yeah, I suppose.
So he dealt with Tasker. We'll see if Patrick has any follow-up threat. Not sure. I guess if Patrick has some way to damage himself, he could play Death Shadow here, but does have Thoughtseize, so maybe we'll see that. It looks like that's going to be the play.
There's the hand disruption. All
Geist,
right.
Geist, Logic Knot.
I think you take a Logic Knot.
Well, yeah, Patrick has Lily of the Veil.
Yeah, 2 Geist is not great, and
In fact,
especially
Patrick
when you
might
have
have
Lily.
Patrick might have 2 Lily of the Veils.
I think you take the Logic Knot.
Yeah, I think Patrick does have 2 Lily of the Veils.
Yeah, so that means you can actually you can play. Oh man, that's brutal.
I can't quite. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe he just he just has one and then other black cards.
Oh, he took the Geist.
That means he can deal with the second one with the Lily, right? So that makes sense to me. Interesting. Patrick did miss his 3rd land drop, but the path ramped him into it. Well,
Oh,
you
well,
get
Robert-
what you ask for, Patrick.
Well,
There's
Robert
Lily.
drew a bolt, so
Sure, you can kill Lily, but
it's still a 2-for-1. But yeah, drew the bolt.
so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think with the new Planeswalker rule, you're gonna have to target them directly instead of targeting players. I think that's how it works. So that's actually kind of interesting.
Why?
I think they're just adjusting that rule.
That's interesting. Does that mean that Leyline is no longer going to
Yeah,
protect
so I'm not
your
sure. I'm not sure about that. But I think I remember seeing that somewhere.
I
If
haven't
anyone,
read it. I
if
haven't read
anyone
anything like
in
that.
chat knows about this, please let me know.
Well, that's going to make Sun and Moon a markedly worse deck.
I could be wrong, but I don't know. Yeah, it would make Leyline and Sanctity a whole lot worse.
Yeah. Ah, it's interesting. I hadn't heard anything like that. Getting the rules inside scoop here first on Top Deck Productions
Yeah.
with Mario.
So here is Collective Brutality. We're gonna Logic Knot that one.
That seems fine.
See if Patrick has Stubborn Denial. Looks like a no.
Wait, but isn't the last card in his hand Geist?
No, one guy's got taken and the other one got sacrificed to Liliana.
Oh, okay. What's Robert's card?
I'm not sure. I think it's a Snapcaster Mage.
Well, then why would you cast Logic Knot?
Because it's the only target for. Oh yeah, I guess you might as well just let it
You
go.
shouldn't. Yeah, you just. There's no reason to cast Logic
Wait, was it a
Knot there.
Thoughtseize? No, it was just Collective Brutality. If it was a Thoughtseize, it would make sense to prevent him from losing life. But yeah, as Collective Brutality, I'm not sure you really want to waste a card in your graveyard. I guess
No.
it's not super relevant, but like maybe he just exiled a land.
Well, and you also had to tap out, whereas you could have left open mana for Snapcaster. For some reason, you decided you wanted to flash it in.
Yeah, that's true.
There's just no reason to Logic Knot that.
So Robert decided to shock himself here for no reason other than to bluff Cryptic Command.
The heads up plays, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder if that'll affect the clock later.
yeah, we'll see. So here comes Death Shadow as a 1/1. Here's Snapcaster. Are we gonna get Logic Knot or are we gonna get a removal spell?
I think. Well, he tapped the Sacred Foundry, so he's not going to get a bolt.
Yeah, that's true.
Rob.
I guess he targeted Path.
I guess by tapping Sacred Foundry, he's got to be thinking Logic
Path
Knot,
or
right?
Yeah, Path. Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Snapcaster dies. Does deal with that shadow. See what Robert draws. Not sure what that was there. P and Kieran would be incredible here.
Oh man, on an empty board, yeah.
Yeah. And he's just gonna pass the turn. So may have been a land, may have been a counterspell, maybe another Snapcaster. Who knows? Probably not any sorcery speed thing like a Geist or said P and Kieran.
Ooh, Patrick's got the island and the forest that were not reprinted.
I feel like he probably doesn't have the forest.
I'm sorry, the island and the swamp.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a forest. You never know.
I see that Patrick brought in the Kozilek's return there to deal with Geist. That's pretty interesting.
Okay,
I
like
it works.
And it also kills Snapcasters. It seems fine.
Sure, and the actually that's very good. It kills P and Kieran and the Thopters.
Oh yeah, oh baby, good call, Patrick. That's a good.
That's a real good sideboard
yeah,
option.
That's great.
So here's the real big fish. Gurmag.
Real big fish. God damn it, Mario.
And we drew a path. All right.
Okay. Well.
Down goes Angler, and Patrick did opt to use that one over his Tassiger there. And now that he doesn't have a graveyard,
the Pia. Just slam it.
Right into the Kozilek's return. Robert's happy about that one, but he's not gonna be too happy once Patrick gets on tap.
Well, that's a big top deck. Either Robert has 4 of those, or he's a lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Patrick might actually be able to deal with this. He's got a lot of cards. He's got a dead land in hand, but he's got a push and a
Kozilek's
Tasker,
return.
right?
Kozilek's return.
Oh, he drew that?
He has it in his hand.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you just saw it in the library.
No. Yeah, we're dealing with this.
Okay, well, get fucked, Robert.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you just said you saw it in
No.
his deck.
Dude, and now when
Wow.
he casts his oh my goodness.
Holy crap. Oh my god.
Wow.
What is this game?
Hey, but that's fine. Now when he casts his Ulamog, we can just exile Kozilek's. He doesn't have Ulamog.
He's not playing green red ramp. So this is fine though. Patrick has a Tassiger and a Fatal Push.
I mean,
that's
he
fine,
He
right?
can deal with P and Kieran, sure, but like he might just die to Thopters again. Hopefully Patrick also brought in the is it Static Caster?
Well, but Gurmag Angler here is a faster clock than the Thopters if he takes out the Pia.
It's Tassiger, not Gurmag Angler.
Either way, it's still a faster clock. And actually, Tasker's with this many lands, Tasker's
right,
really
Tasker's
good.
pretty good. So Patrick might be able to pull his way. And yeah, I mean, if he uses Tassiger, see the problem is though he has to make sure he doesn't like exile too loosely here. He's got to keep some critical cards in his graveyard to be able to deal with these things.
I think what he wants to do is get rid of everything but lands, so then you can control what you're getting. If you leave nothing but lands in the graveyard here,
you could just leave Kozilek's return too.
Sure. Yeah. But you want to
Kozilek's return is good.
Right. This is definitely an interesting delve situation though. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, the double P and Kieran. Wow. We'll see if Patrick can work his way out of this. Oh, and thank you, Ribson. So we found that the targeting change is just a shortcut for tournaments. It's not an actual rules change. Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay.
I guess it'd be weird if they just randomly invalidated a lot of other stuff. So we'll see what Patrick chooses. So he's gonna exile everything but Kozilek's return. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And here's Colonnade in there with the Thopters. Fall to 5. That's dangerously low.
Was that another land off the top for Patrick?
Not sure. It would actually no. It would not allow him to activate Tasker twice. So that wouldn't be great.
Well, he might actually. Patrick might not have any more actual fetchable sources in the deck.
Oh, here's Serum Visions. Yeah, of course we're getting that back. Yeah, that is another land. Yikes.
It can trigger Revolt, but that's not helpful here.
No, and honestly, unless Patrick finds like a Fatal Push or a Bolt, well, not even Bolt, a Fatal Push really with the Serum Visions, even a land for Robert is good here off the top because it lets him activate
Colonnade,
yeah, and that's lethal. Colonnade, I mean, I didn't even mention that, but that was actually a fairly good top deck there for Robert.
Yeah. Yeah, man, Patrick just drawing blank. You know, a few turns ago, Patrick was up 3 cards. Robert was Hellbent. Patrick had 3 cards, and he went Watery Grave, Bloodstained Mire, Scalding Tarn, I think.
And Patrick went P and Kieran, which,
yeah.
when you're out of answers, that's about the worst card you can face.
I thought Patrick was going to be able to stabilize even against the both Pias, but this has been rough.
So I think Patrick may have drawn a Death Shadow.
So that's not great here.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he drew. No, we're in there for 4.
Colonnade's still lethal if Robert draws a land.
Yeah, and if he doesn't draw a land, I mean, what else is he drawing? I guess a counter spell is probably the worst thing. I think he drew a bolt or yeah, there's bolt.
So 1, 2.
Dang, that's 5.
That's Xaxes.
Yeah.
Man, tough break for Patrick.
Oh.
A push on top.
No, Kozilek's return on top.
Oh, jeez.
What a game.
What is this?
Wow.
For one, can I just say that I'm actually surprised that I'm surprised Robert has 2 PN Kiras, and I'm surprised
Further
that Patrick
surprised
has
right,
2
2
Kozileks.
Kozileks return.
Why would you have 2 of either of those cards?
I don't know. I mean,
That's
maybe
this is crazy.
Wow.
Folks,
what a matchup.
Folks, you can't write this.
Yeah,
you can't write
that was
this
a great
stuff.
one though. I mean,
we're bringing you the
huge showings from both sideboards.
Heartthrob matchups.
Wow. Well, that's gonna do it for a very exciting round 1. Robert ends up winning with his Jeskai Geist deck 2-1 over the Death Shadow Menace. Given that we only have about 5 more minutes in the round, I don't think we're gonna find another game here for you. But we will be back for round 2 after these 6 minutes are up, or maybe sooner, depending on if the rest of the round is finished. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back very soon for some more modern action. Thank you.